The Cardinals cruised through the first round of the playoffs with a 59-13 victory against the University of Dubuque. But there is little time to celebrate as they prepare to head to Crawfordsville, Indiana to take on Wabash College on Saturday. Before you get ready to cheer on the Cardinals in the second round, there's only one place you can catch all the action from round one, right here on the Red Zone. Welcome to another edition of the Red Zone. With me always is head coach John Thorne. Coach, thanks so much again for joining us.
All right, Mark.
Impressive victory this Saturday, for the Cardinals, 59-13 in the first round. Were you guys expecting that type of day?
Well, they were the number 2 scoring offense in the whole nation. So to hold them to 13 points, I thought was really a great job by our defense. And we weren't really expecting the 59, on the offensive side, and all of them were scored by the offense this time.
Right.
Usually we get a pick six or a fumble recovery or something like that mixed into those kind. But so it was really a fun day. A lot of guys played really well on all three, offense, defense, and special teams had a really wonderful day.
In the first quarter, these two teams seemed really evenly matched. I mean, you come out of that quarter tied 7-7, and then the Cardinals really seemed to take control in the second. What changed, going to that second quarter?
Well, we checked the wind gauge. We came out and we tried to run some things that we thought we were going to have, and all of a sudden we realized, man, this is really going to be hard to throw into this wind. So once we started putting in the running package that we had ready for that game, it just kept working. So we just said, let's just stay with it, until they stop it.
And the University of Dubuque, primarily a passing team, they come in with the NCAA leading receiver, Michael Zwiefel. So that wind really must have messed up their game plan as well.
Well, they still threw it 46 times, maybe something like that, And so, their guy is, I think, a fifth-year senior at quarterback, and so he didn't let the wind bother him too much. He still threw some pretty good balls into it, but I'm sure it did get into their heads a little bit, So it ended up we got 8 quarterback sacks, and a lot of hurries on top of that.
Right. Well, you really don't need to throw the ball when you guys are running the ball the way you were. You get 7 rushing touchdowns on the day. What does that say about the way the ground game was working?
Well, the real football players are the offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and wow, did they show up to play. I mean, it was just fantastic. I mean, like we just said, the 8 quarterback sacks, I think every single one came from a defensive lineman. And then to run for 411 yards, that said our offensive linemen really had a fabulous day, as well as the guys carrying the ball. They're kind of good too,
just a bit. Well, the Red Zone was there to see every touchdown scored. In case you missed it, we've got you covered. Let's go to the highlight. Opening round of the Division III playoffs for Josh McLeod and the Cardinals, taking on the leading receiver in the nation in Michael Zwiefel and the University of Dubuque Spartans. Scoreless midway through the first quarter, Tyler Dicken hands off to Nick Kukoc, who avoids the ref and the Spartan D all the way down to the 4-yard line. Next play, Dicken running the option right. He'd keep it himself and find the hole into the end zone to give the Cardinals an early 7-0 lead. Spartans answer on their following drive as Wyatt Hannes steps up in the pocket and finds Zwiefel for the 21-yard touchdown catch to even the score at 7. Jordan Tassio gets the ground game going and caps off a 65-yard drive with a 6-yard touchdown run, and the Cardinals back up 14-7. But Tassio and the Cardinal offense wasn't done yet. Very next drive, Tassio taking it right through the heart of the Spartan defense and over Zwiefel to go in for the 34-yard touchdown run, and the Cardinals get some breathing room, now up 21-7. Now 24-7, defense goes to work as Peter Bulander and Valente Garza chase down Hannes for the sack. Willie Hayes says that looked like fun, so I'll give it a try. and he does as he gets around the edge and puts Hannes on his back to force the 3 and out. One of 8 Cardinal sacks on the day. Now 31-7, Nick Kukoc from 3 yards out, one of 7 rushing touchdowns on the day for the Cardinals, and they take care of business against the Spartans in round 1 with a 59-13 victory.
Well, Coach, probably the most impressive stat about the ground game was the 9.6 yards a carry. I mean, it seems like every time you're touching the ball, you guys are almost getting a first down.
Well, I didn't realize it was quite that high. That does sound like a very good number, doesn't it? Yes, it was very high. And the running backs, we talked before the game, you have to break at least one tackle every time you carry the ball, and we thought they had some younger guys on the defensive side, and we thought there might be a chance we could do that, And so the very first time Jordan gets tackled, it's their superstar receiver playing safety. I mean, this guy played both ways the whole game. And he led their team in tackles. Yep. So he dives right down, just chops the ankles off, And so when he came to the sideline, we're talking to him and say, hey, Jordan, he's not a defensive player.
No.
He's going to keep diving down there. Just hop over it the next time. And oh my gosh, he gets out in open field on one of them, and sure enough, he goes down. Jordan hops up in the air and runs in for a touchdown. It was really beautiful.
That was a nice play. He just sort of, hurdled Zweifel and made him look, almost amateur. Made him look like a receiver, I guess.
I guess.
And, impressively, the Cardinals put up all those touchdowns and add to their point total on the season. You guys set a new school record for points in a season with 496. Does that show this team that they can really keep up with anybody in the nation?
Well, not necessarily, but we hope that we can. This week, we're playing a really good defensive team in Wabash. And so it's going to be a really great test for our offense to see if we can continue to be able to run the ball, throw the ball, and put points on the board and not have mistakes in the red zone, and so I'm very excited for what's going to happen this weekend. I can't wait to see what the offensive guys are going to be able to do, how they're going to follow up this last game. And defensively, it's not going to be the same kind of challenge because this team doesn't have that fabulous receiver and fabulous quarterback combination. They have a very, very fast receiver, and he's a great kick returner and so forth. But so it's completely different for both sides of the ball and special teams, so it should be a fun week.
Yeah, we mentioned coming into the game, the University of Dubuque was no slouch on offense. They have the leading receiver. How are you guys able to hold Zweifel to so few catches, especially in the second half?
Well, the guys the coaches had a great scheme for our guys. And our guys really understood what they were supposed to be doing. But in the first half, we gained so much respect for that receiver. Oh my gosh, the way he runs his routes, a little stutter step and go and things like that. He made us realize there's a reason why he has so many catches and so many yards.
Well, the Cardinal defense flexed its muscles this week, shutting down one of the best offenses in the nation. And that's the focus in this week's What's the Word?
I mean, they're obviously a great offense. They were like second or third in the nation in yards, second or third in touchdowns. I mean, and then it just comes down to executing. We always talk about out-hitting, out-hustling, and out-executing. And if you can execute, you should be able to take things away.
They did a good job of mixing up their coverages, but I think the thing that I was most impressed that we talked about during the course of the week with our kids and with you is that they're just fast. They play fast, they play hard, they have a deep passion. It's the best coached defensive team we faced this year and by far the best defensive personnel team that we've faced this year. They really did a great job in taking out us what we probably do the best, and they really disrupted our throw game.
I mean, we knew they had good wide receivers, and the less time the quarterback had in the pocket, it was harder to find them. So, I mean, just getting that pressure and helping the back seven was huge. And, like, when they were guarding them well, we had more time to get the quarterback, so it just hand-in-hand worked.
It's always easier when those guys get sacks, They make everything happen, and then the more pressure they can get, the easier it is on us. We don't want to let them on the scoreboard at any time, and no matter if we're up 100-0 or 100-100, I mean, we just don't want to let them get in the end zone, and if they do, we just got to come back the next time, so.
Coach, you mentioned earlier 8 sacks on the day by the defensive line, and one of those guys, Peter Bulander, was named a finalist for the Gallardi Trophy this year. What has he meant to this team, and how has he grown as a leader?
Well, he's just been fabulous. He's one of our 6 captains. He's been involved with all kinds of volunteer work, and he's always been a really great student, and especially a student of his position. You know, we had a great defensive lineman, Timmy Janasek, and he just took Peter right under his wing. And this is my guy, and I'm going to teach him everything I can. I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to make sure that he stays happy and works hard. And that mentorship from TJ and the way that Peter accepted it and dealt with it and grew with it is something we're going to be able to use for many, many years to come. And hopefully all of our older guys realize how important they are to the young guys. And so it's really been fun to watch Peter develop, because it's not easy to play that position. And he's just gotten better every single year, every single game. And so we're very happy for him.
This coming week, the team heads to Crawfordsville, Indiana to take on Wabash College. What are some of the teams that the Little Giants might present?
Well, their defenses got great numbers. So we have to figure that out. They're playing a lot of young kids on defense. So we're anxious to see if our group, which is a little bit more mature than most teams, may create some problems for them. Our defense has got to find out, can we handle their seniors? Because their seniors all play offense.
Right.
So, and a lot of our seniors are on defense, so it's going to really be a battle of older guys. It's going to be like 2 different games.
This should be fun to watch, though.
I think so.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by one of the players paving the way on Saturday, and a Cardinal that's always putting points on the board. Keep it right here on the Red Zone.